Can a person rise from a life consumed by crime to become a beacon of hope? Can despair transform into a burning desire for justice? The story of Malcolm X answers these questions with a resounding yes. Born Malcolm Little, his childhood was filled with tragedy and hardship. The sting of racism was ever present, casting a long shadow over his youth. Malcolm's family faced constant harassment from white supremacist groups. His father, a vocal advocate for black empowerment, died under mysterious and unjust circumstances, leaving a void in young Malcolm's life. His mother, struggling to provide for her children, suffered a nervous breakdown, leading to the family's separation. Malcolm's education was cut short, forcing him to the streets to survive. He found himself trapped in a cycle of poverty and crime, eventually landing in prison. Behind bars, surrounded by despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. Malcolm's thirst for knowledge was reignited. He devoured books, immersing himself in literature, history, and philosophy. The words he read ignited a fire within him, a yearning for something more than what life had offered. Prison became a period of deep reflection and transformation for Malcolm, and there, amidst confinement, the seeds of his future activism were sown. Prison, a place often associated with darkness, became a turning point in Malcolm's life. It was there that he encountered the teachings of the Nation of Islam, a movement that deeply resonated with his experiences and frustrations. The nation's message of black self-reliance and its condemnation of racial injustice offered Malcolm a sense of belonging and purpose he had never known before. Malcolm embraced the nation's teachings with fervor, immersing himself in its principles and adopting the name Malcolm X, signifying his rejection of his family name, a remnant of his ancestors' enslavement. Malcolm's charismatic presence and sharp intellect did not go unnoticed. He quickly rose through the ranks of the nation, becoming a powerful and articulate spokesperson. His fiery oratory skills captivated audiences, drawing thousands to hear his message of black empowerment and self-defense. Malcolm X's words resonated deeply with a generation disillusioned by the slow pace of change. He challenged the status quo, urging black Americans to demand their rightful place in society. His message, though considered controversial by some, ignited a sense of pride and consciousness within the black community. Malcolm's unwavering commitment to the Nation of Islam made him a formidable force in the struggle for racial equality. He became a symbol of resistance, challenging the very foundations of systemic racism in America. Malcolm X's rise to prominence coincided with the burgeoning civil rights movement. And while figures like Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for nonviolence and integration, Malcolm X offered a more radical perspective. He challenged the idea of appealing to the moral conscience of white America, arguing that black people needed to achieve liberation by any means necessary. His message, though often deemed divisive, resonated with those who felt frustrated by the slow pace of progress. Malcolm X's words gave voice to the voiceless, articulating the anger and frustration felt by many in the black community. He boldly challenged racial injustice, exposing the hypocrisy and brutality of segregationist policies. Malcolm X's influence extended beyond the pulpit. He recognized the power of media and used it effectively to spread his message. His interviews and speeches received widespread media coverage, bringing his message of black empowerment to a national and international audience. He became a controversial figure, revered by many in the black community but feared and demonized by others. His uncompromising stance on racial justice challenged the status quo, forcing America to confront the ugly reality of its racist past and present. In 1964, Malcolm X embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca, a journey that would profoundly impact his worldview. It was a journey that would profoundly impact his worldview. He witnessed Muslims of all races and ethnicities united in prayer, experiencing a profound spiritual awakening. He witnessed Muslims of all races and ethnicities united in prayer, experiencing a profound spiritual awakening. The pilgrimage challenged his previous beliefs about race, leading him to renounce the Nation of Islam's doctrine of racial separation. Malcolm X returned from Mecca a changed man, embracing a more inclusive vision of Islam. He began to preach a message of interracial unity and brotherhood, advocating for human rights instead of racial superiority. This shift in ideology led to his estrangement from the Nation of Islam, resulting in his departure from the organization he had served so faithfully. Despite the risks, Malcolm X continued to speak out against racial injustice, and he founded the Organization of Afro-American Unity to promote black self-determination and international solidarity. He embraced a Pan-Africanist perspective, linking the struggle for Black liberation in America to the global fight against colonialism and oppression. Malcolm X's transformation demonstrated his willingness to evolve and challenge his own beliefs. He recognized the limitations of his previous ideology and embraced a more inclusive vision of humanity. This evolution in thought showcased his intellectual depth and unwavering commitment to justice, regardless of the personal cost. On February 21, 1965, at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem, tragedy struck. As Malcolm X addressed a crowd, gunshots rang out, ending his life and silencing one of the most powerful voices for social justice the world had ever known. His assassination sent shockwaves across the nation and the world, marking a profound loss for the civil rights movement and for humanity as a whole. Despite his untimely death, Malcolm X's legacy continues to inspire generations. His life and words left an indelible mark on the fight for racial equality, challenging us to confront injustice and strive for a more just and equitable world. He's remembered as a courageous advocate for the oppressed, a brilliant orator, and a complex and evolving figure who challenged conventional thinking and demanded change. Malcolm X's autobiography, published posthumously, became a seminal work, offering profound insights into his life, transformation, and vision for a better future. His words continue to resonate with readers from all walks of life, inspiring reflection, dialogue, and action. His legacy stands as a testament to the power of one voice to challenge the status quo, ignite social change, and inspire generations to fight for a more just and equitable world. His legacy stands as a testament to the power of one voice to challenge the status quo, ignite social change, and inspire generations to fight for a more just and equitable world.